never forget these golden days.
Good morning from Oregon. We are hiking today the Trail of 10 Falls. So this comes up as the #1 hike in all of Oregon on Alltrails, and it's in the top 10. I think it's number 7 in the USA. So I've got high expectations. It's in Silver Falls State Park. I think yeah. So you have to buy a £5 permit for the day, $5, sorry, permit for the day, which you can get at the booths on the stands just like behind me here. This one's actually closed up, so we had to drive down the road and get one from a different lot on the other side. There's a couple of different trailheads, but we're going to just start from here because this one isn't gated and it's before 8 a.m. So we're going to start from the North Falls Trail because the one down at the South Falls Trailhead doesn't open till 8 a.m. and there's a gate that's closed. So yeah, we're going to start from here. 7.6 miles, moderate hike, family friendly, and we're going to hopefully count 10 waterfalls. So we've just come to the first sort of split off in the trail, and as we're going to do this as a loop hike, we're going to take the rim trail first and go up and come around, and then we'll come back on the canyon trail a little later on, so we'll get to check this falls out in just a little while. So we've come to our first waterfall, big view of waterfall anyway. So that is North Falls. So that's just a little after the North Falls trailhead where we parked the car. It looks amazing, but I definitely want to get a bit closer to some waterfalls, so we'll see what the rest of the trail has to offer. The next waterfall should be Winter Falls. So here we go. So hiking up to the North Falls viewpoint, it was uphill, but it wasn't anything strenuous. It was really easy. Anyone would be able to do it. And then we've just come on this sort of flat section now for the past sort of half a mile. And you can hear the road really close by. So you're definitely not in the back of beyond. I can definitely see how this is one of the more popular trails on Alltrails because most people with kids and elderly people would be able to do this with no issue whatsoever. It's really easy, but it's really pretty. You know, you're in amongst this old growth forest. There's lots of ferns, there's lots of plant life. I'd imagine in the summer you get to see lots of wildlife too. So yeah, it's so far a really nice little hike. So there's another trail junction here where we've hugged the road for pretty much a mile. And this is about, a mile up the road from the 10 Falls Trail towards Salem. And this is part of the rim trail, but just ahead there is a sign for Winter Falls Trail. And I can see a sign that says welcome to the Trail of 10 Falls. So this is going to be the continuation of our hike. So from this point it's 8.7 miles, but obviously we've already done some of that by getting here in the first place. And it's just a little bit more information about the trail. and we are going to start hiking downhill now, away from the road, and in towards the river and the waterfall. Apart from that one view that we had of North Falls, there wasn't very much in the way of interesting features. It was just walking along the side of the road, basically on a trail in the forest, which was nice, but so far it's been a bit uneventful of a hike. So I think we're both really looking forward now to getting a bit closer to some of these falls and starting to check off those 10 waterfalls. I think it's safe to say we've seen one, but there's still 9 more falls on this trail that we haven't seen, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're all about now. Just a little ways down the trail, you've even got a bench, so if you're hiking back up, it's a good spot for you to take a rest if you need to. So we've made it to Winter Falls, which is a really cool falls. It's quite high, and it's just bouncing off this mossy rock. Really scenic, really pretty. So I think definitely now it's starting to heat up the trail. We're getting to see some really good waterfalls, and you can definitely see why it's so popular with people. So we found ourselves just coming over this bridge, and there is another one of these really helpful trail signposts. So the North Falls Trailhead and Parking Lot, which is where we started today, is straight back that way. So if you just want to do a very short loop, you can go back that way, which will be down along the river, and under, well, around North Falls, back to the parking lot. But obviously we aren't doing the trail to see the waterfalls, so we're going to follow the signs on the Canyon Trail and South Falls Lodge, just this way. And if you get stuck, there is a really helpful map here as well, which can just point you in the right direction. So this is Middle North Falls. I'm shouting because it's going to be so hard for you to hear what I'm saying. But this is the falls we just looked at when it was bridging over the side of the cliff. It's so noisy and so beautiful. Okay, so we were a bit skeptical when we started this trail, and we both were like, okay, yeah, it's just like a park walk. But no, that was like national park level.
It really
sight,
was.
wasn't it?
I think the closest one we've done like that was Canada.
Yeah, well, PT Falls in Canada was really cool. There's a video linked for that here. But yeah, that was epic. Oh, look at this view of it. Literally a quarter of a mile on a flat trail, and you come to this viewpoint out on the cliff, which looks down at Drake Falls, which is just here. Another really cool falls, not quite as spectacular as the previous one, but nevertheless it's still a really cool waterfall. So we've got two falls here, so we've got double falls just up this trail here. Wow. So there's a very small waterfall at the top and then a big one, which is why it's got the name Double Falls. This one's just slightly off the trail, so you just take a very short 0.1 miles off the trail and come and check it out. Do you want to pick? Yeah. Literally about 10 steps after you come back on the trail from Double Falls, you come to the lower, also middle North Falls, which is this one. Any picture there, or are you good? I'm good. This is very like glacier actually. So after that quick succession of fall, you come over a bridge and you climb just up a gentle slope up to a sort of rim trail around the canyon. I just nearly slipped on the slick wet rock, and from here there's going to be a little bit less in terms of waterfall activity, just for a little while we cover a few more miles. But so far it's been a really scenic, pretty little hike. I don't think this one counts. So we've got another fall here, a bit smaller, but there's actually no sign, and on the map I can't quite work out if this is actually one of the 10 or if this is just a little bonus extra. So I'm not going to count it just yet, but it may well be one. So you'll find yourself at this trail junction, and it's quite, you might go to look as you see one of these trail posts, but it's actually access road, so no trail, and there's a keep out sign. So just keep following the trail you were already on and you'll be all okay.
Not for that. This is the point where you...
So we've just come up the trail from here on the canyon trail, and there's another junction here, great spot for a chocolate stop, which we definitely needed. And you can head up here to the Maple Ridge Trail, but we're not going to be doing that. We're going to carry on with the canyon trail. But they have these really handy little maps at the trailheads. They're just little paper copies, but they've got the actual trail of the 10 falls on one side, and then just the day use area on the other. You can name check all of the different trails as you go along. There is signs, but some of them are quite mossy, so it's really handy to have. But it's also good just for you to know at places like these little trail junctions which direction you need to head in. But on we go. So here is the lower South Falls. So you can see the trail goes behind the falls, I think, and it goes along here And then there's some switchback railings that just go up here, which I'm assuming is to the day use area. So cool. You get quite wet, but there's the falls. This is very mist trail, isn't it? How was the stairs?
Hard.
It's funny because it's a hike, but that's the first time that you ever feel that you're actually like hiking. The rest of it's pretty flat. Gorgeous. Now it seems like we're the only people in the whole world that went up the stairs rather than down the stairs to South Falls, but it's really nice that we've done that little leg workout and now we're in the sun on our face. The river's babbling beside us. It's quite warm. And you can see all the moss is like illuminated from the sun. It's really, really pretty. Smell the campfire from the campground.
I think it's that pinchy moment.
So here we have South Falls. We're going to look on the bridge. This is South Falls, so this is one of the main falls here. It's 177 feet tall and it's gushing down over the bridge that I'm on at the moment. And once you cross the bridge, you climb up and there's a trail junction just approaching where you can go back around and go under the falls, or we can head up onto the rim trail to continue on our loop hike back to the North Falls parking lot. There's one last view of South Falls. Are you joking? Okay, so we might have made a little error. There's a trail junction about 0.2 miles back that we should have probably gone up. It wasn't signed, which should have told me it just continues, because we've come to this dead end with this really sad little waterfall at the end of the line. So back this way. So just up from, oh, that's very close. Just down there is the waterfall. There's a viewpoint, and we're basically at the South Falls day use area. So this is the other trailhead that you could use, another parking lot. There's toilets, there's a water spigot. It sounds like there's a store, which I'm guessing sells like firewood for camping and stuff like that. And we're going to connect on just a little up this paved path that we're on right now to the rim trail, and then we're going to head back towards the North Falls area. So we're about 5.5 miles into our 2.6 mile hike, so we're definitely on the home run now. And then here we have, looks like a little bookstore, doesn't look like it's open though, and water, and then there's some restrooms just back here as well. Yeah. So you can see the rim trail back to North Falls is 2.1 miles this way. There's also some cute benches and stuff in the area as well. this is a loop hike, so you can actually start your hike here at the South Falls trailhead and just do it the opposite way to us. So it's either or. So you still get to have a good look at the whole hike anyway. So just at the end of the road, you'll see this little trail with the signpost again, telling you that you're back on the Rim Trail and that the North Falls trailhead and parking lot is just this way. So we've just come up this way on the Rim Trail, and then we've come to this sort of junction, and you can see just here, this is actually the bike path, which is kind of obvious by the way it's laid out. Yeah, there's all this cool fungi growing out of the trees. Just here, just carries on up this way. The road is just down there, as you can see, a car's just going by. Thank you. And then we've got the bike path just next to us there, and then this trail. So it's like 3 sort of lanes of traffic. And I have to say, this north section of the Rim Trail is so much quieter than the Canyon Trail. Like, we were passing by the end, as we got to Southwards, we were passing people like constantly, whereas we're back to the odd person every, 20 minutes or so. It's not too far back to the car, but we have got one more waterfall to see, and then that should be our collection of 10. No animals on the trail, but we did see quite a big white-tailed deer as we were driving into the park. That she skipped off amongst all the Christmas tree farms. So there is definitely wildlife around. The information signs say that cougars and black bears live in the park.
So the paw print.
We've seen some paw prints, which I'll put a picture on the screen of now. So yeah, there's definitely stuff out here, but we haven't been.
Tell us what you think it is.
Yeah, comment below and let us know if you've ever hiked here and if you've seen any wildlife. Tell us what to look out for, and yeah, let us know what you think that paw print is. So we found ourselves back at Winter Falls. So the way that we've done this trail is basically, it's a loop, but we've done it like a figure of 8, which has been quite interesting. We've definitely gone uphill more than it seems like everybody else, but we wanted to hike, so we're glad we did. So yeah, here at Winter Falls, we're gonna go back down the Winter Falls trail, which is gonna take us to that bridge where we forked off earlier. And then it's just one straight run then back up to the parking lot. On familiar territory for us. It's all downhill, so it's all good. And we get to see that waterfall, Winter Falls, one more time as well. So we've just crossed the bridge to come back down from Winter Falls. Literally just half a mile downhill that we've sort of gone over our previous steps. But it's taken us back to this trail junction, which I showed you a little bit earlier, where we took the Canyon Trail along the river. There's the map. And that's where the majority of the falls were in quick succession. But we can just take the North Falls trailhead. We've got one more falls here before the last big one at the parking lot. It's been a really nice little hike actually. There's a lot of people about. It's Saturday morning, so obviously you get typical like crowds on a weekend. Yeah, it's a really nice little park, really well maintained. So our GoPro has died. Forgot to charge the battery. But we are finally at North Fall, which is our last big fall of the 10 fall trail. And it's raging. But we're not too far to the car now. It's all uphill up to the parking lot, but it's worth it. So once again, the trail's going to go under. You can just see the people here. And we're going to go under the falls. And then you can just see the trail back up to the parking lot at the top there. One last push up a huge stairwell. He thinks he needs a knee replacement. So this is the first trailhead that we got to, the first junction, and I can see the car park just up ahead. So we've done our figure of 8 loop around the 10 falls trail. We've seen all 10 falls and some little extras as well. And the parking lot is so much busier, so I'm so glad we started when we did.
Once we got back to the
Back
parking lot,
in
as you can
pretty
see, it was
full car
completely
park.
full. So it was definitely
Just
worth
over
an
here.
early start to get back before the crowds. In the South Falls area, there is a visitor centre with a warm fire, and there's also a coffee shop as well if you fancy a hot drink after your hike.
These golden